Legends, what's happening? This is Liam Zolo, Shane Alexandra. My friend Howard Tinker is going to open the show today. We are live down here on Bondi Beach for the weekend wellness show. We're super excited about this show, guys and girls. Howard Tinker has been a great mentor of mine as a kid. Single-handedly one of the people that inspired me to become an entrepreneur as a child, as an 18-year-old. So we've got many stories to share and very excited about what we have here. Also, we've got some stuff happening in the background. We've got some bands playing, so bear with us. It's a positive. I look at it as a positive anyway. It's got double the music, so when we go for a slight break, you can listen to some dance floor music, and while we're actually talking, you get to listen to a rock band in the background. So either way, we're going to have some fun, aren't we, guys?
I'm nervous. I can't multitask. I want to hear Howard. I don't want to listen to the
You
music.
should be able to multitask. I thought you were female.
I know, but I can't.
All right, ready to go live. We've got 30 seconds, and the song
I think
finishes.
we just need to just move you guys just over just
Okay.
a slip. And where's my coffee?
I didn't get the coffee because we're sorting this out, but
Okay.
no coffee until later on.
Okay, that's good.
We have to do it with water.
Water.
We have to survive with water. Who would have thought? So we've got 15 seconds and the song finishes. Actually, I might just go on a little bit more, guys, if you don't mind.
Go where?
I'm just going to go on a little bit more. Just hang on for a sec. I've just got to make sure I record this. Yeah. All ready?
Ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Weekend Wellness Show. This is Liam Zola, your host. I'm with my awesome co-host, Sheena Alexandra, and our co-host again. Well, when I say again, we had a co-host last week. Last week was Dan Irvine. Now we've got Howard Tinker, a great mentor of mine. Super excited about this. Visualised this for a long time, actually, guys and girls. So very excited about having him on the show. Welcome in, Howard. How are you today, my friend?
I'm really good. How could I not be good looking at that amazing view out there, Bondi Beach? And
It's awesome.
I'm a POM as well, so
Yeah.
this is my dream come true. I visualised this years ago.
Yeah. And now we're on this beautiful Bondi Beach on a radio show. Who would have thought, hey Howard? Who would have thought? We come from humble beginnings from the Yorkshire. Where were you from? Is it Leeds?
From Leeds in
Yeah,
Yorkshire,
Leeds.
yeah.
Okay, cool. So I want to go into your past a little bit before we dive into your present and future.
Okay.
So the first thing I want to ask you, how did this? It had been a bit difficult growing up as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the north of England. Tell us that story of how it all started.
Okay, so I come from a very, very working class background. Probably you would say poverty. We didn't have a bathroom in our house.
Yeah.
We shared a bathroom with 4 other families down the street. It was an outdoor dunny. And, so those sort of beginnings, no hot water, that sort of thing. And went to school, and of course, and then about 7 years old, I found out that I was stupid. My teacher told me, and they sent me for an eye test because I couldn't copy things and things like that, and so they just decided I was stupid, get to the back of the class and sort of thing, and I actually believed what they said. When your teachers say that, and then the report card goes home. And then your parents believe it, so they reinforce it. So I just went through the whole of school waiting to get out, and every time anybody did anything good, I just thought they were skillful, like an athlete, can do things that we can't do normally, and I just thought that was the same with school. So I couldn't do things. It was many, many, many years later I found out I was dyslexic. But there was no dyslexia in 1974 or whatever it was, so you were just stupid, or I was just stupid. So that's where I began. I began with that. I left school and went to work in a factory because that's what I expected from myself, and so it's a very different life. It feels like I've been, I don't want it to sound too religious, but it feels like I've been born again. This is a different life to that one that
That's
I had
right.
before.
And also in England around that time as well, because my mom's English and she comes from a poor background as well. It seems like the whole country was sort of just recuperating after all the war that happened, and just getting back on their feet, and a lot of working class, a lot of hard And she only had one skate for Christmas. She only got one skate, and you know,
really?
like yeah, it's just a hard time. I don't know if that's the times that you lived in, but
Well, that was my parents. They grew up in the war,
Mm.
and so they went through a lot of hardships. So we never.
that passed down to you.
to me.
Yeah.
And my teachers reinforced it as well. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, that was just the way that it was. And then we had Thatcher come in government and close down all the factories and the mines. And so the north of England where we lived was very, very poor. So yeah, that was the environment that I was in. And as I said, Thatcher made people redundant, and I and a friend decided to get the hell out of there, and we bought a one-way ticket to here.
Wow.
Yeah. And then so when you catch, so that was just from factory straight over here, is that right?
More or less. I went to work on the buses for a while because the factories closed down, and then they privatised the buses as well, so I lost my job there as well. So it's
And
like
what-
they were stalking me.
How long was the idea to move to Australia? Like, when did that come into your head? And
Well, it's a funny story because we went to Europe. We got a one-way ticket, a return ticket to Europe, really cheap. And we met these two girls that were hitchhiking around the world, and one came from Australia. And she said, "If you ever go to Australia, that's my mum's address." And that was the first time I ever considered it. And we flew into Sydney, and her mother's address was in Perth, but we didn't know how far Perth was.
you just hop over there, right?
Around the corner. Yeah.
And then, so when you came over here, what did you do? What was your job? Were you still
I
working
was
in
a
factory?
I was a backpacker over here, so I worked as a brickies labourer. I worked in a bookshop. I worked on Rottnest Island in WA for the YMCA, helping kids in camps and summer camps. And I worked for Rod Stewart as a
No way.
as a roadie for a while.
Really? What was it like working with Rod Stewart?
Well, I never really got to meet him. He turns up just before the show. They do
Yeah.
the show and they go. So
Yeah.
the roadies are working like the day before, building the stage
Yeah.
and all of that. So that's what I did. And it was good. You know, it was physical labour and it was exciting. We got to see the show and things
Yeah.
like that.
And so what happened next then? You dived into the world of psychotherapy, is that right?
Yeah, what happened was at the end of my visa, which was 6 months in those days, I decided to hitchhike back home through Asia. So we went overland through Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, Burma as it was then, Pakistan and so on. And I saw a lot of poverty. You know, I thought I was poor, and then I saw other people. And the thing for me was I could get out of it. I had a choice. I could do things in life. And what I saw in Asia was that those people were stuck in it. They didn't have a way out. And I decided at that moment, whatever I'm going to do with my life is going to make a difference. And I knew I couldn't solve world hunger. But I made a decision. I'm going to have a job. I'm going to do something that's going to make a difference in the world. And so when I got home, I looked for jobs that would allow me to do that. So I worked in youth work. We opened up a youth club in a really disadvantaged area where people had been unemployed for 2 generations. Kids' parents couldn't read and write. So the kids that we encountered were very tough. And we were able to do some good work in that. I became worked in children's homes, and then I became a social worker. And what I found was I really liked working with psychology, how people think and how we can change our behaviour and they can change their behaviour. And so that's what I did. I started to work with juvenile offenders, so kids that were right on the edge of prison, and like what can we do to change the way they think and behave so that they don't end up in that horrible lifestyle, that spiral. Then I did that for 4 years, and then I worked with kids and their families where the kids had tried to commit suicide and they hadn't. That luckily they'd failed at that, or succeeded at staying alive, let's put it that way. And so we got all of their families together in family therapy, and I did that for 2 years. So that's what I was doing in the UK.
So you went from factory worker, backpacker, brickies labourer, roadie for Rod Stewart, into psychotherapy. How did that entrepreneurial bug come about? Has it always been there, or did you just make that sudden decision to move from psychotherapy into entrepreneurial?
Well, ironically, even though I was a school failure, when I was working at in psychotherapy, I had to work with a group of people that were these young offenders, and there was no guidance or research how to work with a particular group of them. And I went to to university and said, you know, how do we learn? How do we do this stuff? And they said, there is nothing. And they said, would you like to do a research degree? So I was really nervous because I was dyslexic and I didn't want to fail. Nobody wants to fail. And I thought, I'm guaranteed failure here. Anyway, they supported me and I ended up with a master's degree in education and social studies. So I went from being a dyslexic failure to somebody with a master's degree.
That's why I laugh. You say you were a failure and I'm just like, you're not a failure.
Oh, I'm not.
Yeah, and you weren't back then. You weren't back then either.
You
know?
Was the school
the school failed you. Exactly. Another example of the institutions not supporting our wonderful, smart individuals that are making a difference. You know.
But maybe do you think that it was because of those humble beginnings and that you had to overcome adversity so many times that just became a norm for you?
Well, the thing with dyslexic people is that we know that when you hit a problem, that's not the end of it. You just have to think of a different way around it, because everybody else can go down this one channel that's unavailable to us. So in order for us to get to the destination, we've got to zigzag.
Yeah.
And so that's the same in every problem, in business, in life. I don't expect it to be easy, I just expect that I will get there.
When you were dyslexic and you weren't moving forward with school, did you tell anybody? Did you express that this is hard, it's not clicking,
I just thought it was the way it was.
Yeah.
It's just, because that's what programming is. We are programmed by our experiences and by the people around us, and it's so solid that that's the way life is. I look at my life through a filter of my beliefs. I believed I was stupid. I was told so many times and given so much evidence that I believed it. And you know what? I was generating even more evidence myself because I just got stuck and went, oh, I can't do it then. It was only later where I started thinking outside the box. And having the mentor, it's really important. I had a guy in social work that said to me, hey, you are really good at this. And I said, how can I be good? I can't spell, I'm not good at reading and writing. And he said, well, you're not judged in social work for that. It's how you make other people feel, how you help them, how you support them to change their behaviour. He said, you are really good at this. And so I was given a different belief structure around a particular context, which is being with people. So then I started to believe that I wasn't stupid in that context. It took a long time to get over the feeling that I wasn't capable of reading and writing. I've written 2 books now.
Wow!
Yeah,
Wow! So are you still dyslexic, or have you overcome?
No, it's like
you've learned to navigate. Yes.
It's like having one leg shorter than the other. Yeah. With dyslexia. You're never going to change that.
No,
it's just you adapt to the world, and I'm really proud of it now. I actually think it's an asset, not a disability.
So what do you actually see though as dyslexic? Like what you see, you're looking at a book, and what do you see down? How do you distinguish whether you're dyslexic or not?
Well, the thing with dyslexia, it's such an umbrella term. It's like saying mental illness or mental health. Mental illness might mean that you're depressed, or it might mean that you're psychotic. It's and dyslexia is the same for some people. Like me, when I'm writing, my hand will write things that my brain's not telling it to.
Right.
So I'll be writing a word, and it might be PR, but my hand will write RP. Now I see it doing it, and then I can go back and then correct it if I know what the word's supposed to be. So it's almost like you've been taken over by another entity that writes different things. That's how.
Even when you're typing?
Yeah.
Even when you're typing? Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And the other thing for me is that I don't have very good visual memory, so I cannot see words in my head. So I can't visualise my number plate, for instance. I just don't have that ability. And it's the same with numbers. I can't remember anybody's phone numbers, which is great with the iPhone and stuff like that.
Right.
Because I don't have to anymore.
Yeah.
And same with like credit card numbers. I just don't know.
Yeah.
And when I used to take orders over the phone, people would give me their credit card numbers, and I'd reverse the numbers. And if I had not reversed their phone number, I could ring them back. But if I'd reversed their phone number, I could never get hold of them. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like that for me. But for other people, it can be that that the words move around on the page.
Oh wow. Okay.
I've never had that.
Yeah.
It's a lot of things. Like I say, it's a big, broad umbrella term, is dyslexia, and everybody has it in different ways. But that was the struggle for me. And I have to really concentrate hard, make pictures in my head so I understand concepts. And even in the gym, you know, my PT will say to me, do this, and he'll explain it, and I'm watching him, and then I can't remember what he's shown me, so I do it, and then he corrects me, and once I've got it in my body, I can physically do it, then I can do it.
Right.
But I can't remember visually what he's just done.
Learn kinesthetically.
Yeah. I call it learn by do.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. That's probably why you don't remember me.
No, I don't. Oh, this is kind
When
of
she
creepy.
does this, she did this a couple of weeks
So
ago.
it was-
Freaks me out. She starts laughing and like, we're gonna even, might as well start doing this. Like, what's going
So
on?
about a year ago, a short American girl called you up and started talking about video marketing.
All right.
And I created a YouTube template for you.
Wow, did you?
We talked about the restaurant business.
Right.
We talked about how restaurants probably wouldn't use the video marketing
That's right.
platform, and then I shared with you some of my tips on YouTube optimization.
You did?
And,
Wow.
Embarrassing.
and we're from Beth Powell. Beth Powell is our connection.
Right, yeah.
How funny,
There you go.
what a small world then, eh? So you do know
Yeah,
each
so I
other.
do know each other. Yeah, we've had an hour conversation, a full-on, really interesting conversation, different than what we're talking about now. It was about restaurants and really kind of getting into the field, because at that time I was teaching smartphone videos and I was targeting different industries. Obviously, I've moved on from that, as you
Yeah.
can see, but
She's now my co-host.
Yeah. Gone down in the world, I see.
She's bringing me up, Hal. That's what it is. Exactly right. So let's move into the entrepreneurial. Like, we're talking about the restaurant market. People out there don't know what you're doing now. But
Okay.
before we dive into the restaurant marketing,
What happened next?
what happened next after this
So
research?
I got to Australia with 12 years of experience in psychotherapy and social work and a master's degree, and I arrived as an immigrant. I was legally here to live, and the government didn't recognise any of my qualifications, so I would have had to go back to university for maybe 4 years in order to qualify for the job that I'd been doing for 4 years. And I'd left England, and a mate of mine ran this amazing mail-order company selling psychology products. So I'd said to him, half joking, well, really joking, if I can't get a job, I'll start your business over there. And I rang him and I said, you're never going to guess what, I can't get a job. Can I set up your business? And he said, yeah, what do you want? And I said, oh, just send me some brochures. I'm going to do this Mind, Body, Spirit Festival. Now, this is going back 20 years. And he said, you can't sell brochures. He said, you need stock. And I said, but I've got no money. He said, I'll look after it. And this guy sent me boxes and boxes, thousands and thousands of dollars of stock. Yeah, that's a real
It's a
mate.
friend. Yeah.
That's a mate.
Yeah, it is.
And so we went to the Mind, Body, Spirit Festival, and we had a stand, and you know, the moment that before the doors opened, I was just this guy freaking out. I had this stand and these products, and then the doors open and people come and they see you as an expert. So their perception is reality. They think you're an expert, so therefore in their head, their reality,
yes,
you're an expert.
that's right.
Now that's the same thing about me saying I'm an idiot,
Yeah.
I'm stupid. It's
Yeah.
exactly the same thing. So they came to the stall and I'm explaining about the products, and they start to buy them, and it was just like, it was so crazy. Why are these people, you know, it's just... Anyway, what I did by accident, and this is a great business tip by the way, what I did by accident was I collected a list of names and addresses, and at those times phone numbers. We didn't have email or internet at that point. And we collected about 500. Over 4 days at the conference, we sold 13 of these products, okay? And we were worn out, we were tired, we'd spent thousands of dollars. The next couple of weeks, I sent a letter to these 500 people, and I sold them 13, and I thought, that was one letter, and I made as much money as standing for 4 days and
Wow.
paying thousands of dollars, and I knew immediately all I needed then was bigger lists of people. I started to understand database marketing.
Yeah.
So for the next around 10 years, I ran this mail order company selling psychology type products. And in the midst of it, we were offered a product that was about setting up a business from home. Initially, I was skeptical because I'd seen all this get rich quick stuff, and I didn't want to be that kind of guy that sold things like that, because my business was about helping people. And I read it and I thought, wow, this is fantastic stuff. If people will apply this, they'll make money. So I did start to sell it, and we paid for the license, and we paid $9,000 to license this product, and I said to my wife, do you think we should do it? She said, as long as we can make that money back, it's okay.
Yeah.
Well, when we finished, after a period of time of selling it, we paid $750,000
Oh, wow.
for a $9,000
Oh, my God.
investment.
Wow.
So it was a great product. It was about helping people and supporting. And what happened, Sheena, was that people would say, this is brilliant, but how do I put it into practice?
Yeah.
I love reading about it, like a great book, but how do I do it? And what they were asking is, will you coach me? But they weren't saying that question. So we set up a coaching business, not knowing what the hell we were doing. I just sent out a sales letter, and all these people said yes. And we made $68,000 from one sales letter, and then I had to learn how to coach. And this is before coaching really existed.
Right.
So in my mind, I was just helping them put it into practice, and it worked. And that's why it became $750,000, because it wasn't just the products; it was the coaching.
Wow. Yes.
But the challenge was I was doing everything from people like Liam, who was a PT, right through to people who were coaches in the corporate world and piano tuners and grass cutters. And I had to know enough about so many businesses that I could help them, or I felt that way. And we decided to niche, and we ended up with restaurants. Very naive. I bought this product again. I licensed the product from America, this time 25,000 American, so that was about 40,000 Aussie at the time, and we sold it. But what I didn't know, I didn't do enough research, was that the people that run restaurants are very time poor. And so even though they bought this big box of stuff like CDs, DVDs, manuals, they were never going to do it. And we gave them a 1-year money-back guarantee. And I could see this 1 year moving towards me when I was going to have a tsunami of products coming back in. And so we went, you know what, we need to set up something else for these guys. So we did conferences, workshops, coaching, to try and stop them sending them back. And we did that for about 2 years, and we were still getting no results for them. We were getting results, we were selling, but they weren't getting results. And in the end I went, do you know what? Why don't we just do it for you? And they all went, oh. And it was like, finally he's worked out what we really need, which is take it off our backs and you do it. And so we set up a Done For You marketing company about 7 years ago, and it's done millions of dollars, because basically what they want is for us to take care of their clients, their customers. And so we collect customer data. We manage about 600,000 people's data now on behalf of anything up to 70 restaurants in a year. They own the data, it's theirs. And then we do email, SMS, social media, and postcards, believe it or not. And what do you think is the one that sells the most? Postcards,
Yes.
Really?
I think physical mail is making a return, and I love
really?
it. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because there's so much email out there, and people are missing that physical touch in a postcard and in a letter.
Yeah. So, I often say to my clients, inboxes are full, post boxes are empty. And with Australia Post just putting the cost up about 25% just recently, the mailbox is just empties even further. So when we go in, and we go in with a really beautiful card, a fantastic offer, people go, oh wow, this is great.
Yeah.
So some of my clients do $1 million a year with birthday cards.
Wow.
Tapping into those occasions that happen every year is a really good strategy, marketing strategy, because then you bring loyalty.
That's right.
And you bring more business in every single year.
Yeah. So we do birthday cards, birthday emails, anniversary cards, anniversary emails. But in order to be able to do that, you've got to collect that data.
Absolutely.
So you come into my restaurant and I say, what's your birthday?
Yeah.
You're like, who the hell are you?
Yes.
Why are you asking me this? So it comes down to understanding marketing and psychology, which is, if I'm going to get that from you, I've got to give you something in return that's valuable, where you go, I'd be an idiot not to do that.
Yes.
So our offer is eat for free on
Yeah.
your birthday.
Oh, right. Absolutely. Do you use one of these iPads to collect databases, to emails, and walk around the restaurant and ask people?
No. And the reason is that slows the whole process down.
Yeah, right. Okay.
And
so writing is faster than typing? Yeah.
Well, not just that. If there's 6 people at the table and they've all got to wait while that
Yes,
thing goes round.
that's right.
So,
That's true.
And we have a little pitch that the wait staff do. They come to the table.
Yeah.
Hey, have you enjoyed your meal? Yes. Would you like it for free? Oh, yes. Well, if you fill this in on your birthday.
Yeah, great. So you can even coach them on that. It's how do you acquire an email? Well, this person has to say this.
We've just actually done for one restaurant. We've just done a Facebook strategy, which I'm not going to reveal, but we signed up 1,000 people in 7 days.
Wow. Wow.
That's what for
That's
one of our
ROI.
clients. I
Wow.
know. And for a cost of $96, 7 cents a lead. It was just like, oh my god.
People love food, though.
Yeah.
That's like you're talking to the belly.
Yeah, talking to the belly. Most important thing, like.
So that's what happened. I went from dyslexic school failure to having a multi-million-dollar marketing business, and I just put it down to like my heart is about helping people, and my head's around psychology. So it's like I come from the right place. I understand psychology, and I also learned through having to spend my own money on marketing that you've got to understand the numbers. So if I'm spending $10 on marketing, I want $50 or $100 back for every $10,
Right.
and I want that for my clients as well. I'm not going to go in and say, "Hey, let's get your name out there," and you can't you can't measure it, which
That's
a lot
right.
of the marketing companies do.
Right.
Oh well, we got your name out there. I can't pay my mortgage.
Yeah. And that's really hard to do on Facebook and social media. So that's well done for showing that ROI. Because most of the time you have clicks or you've got, shares. But if you can bring those people back into the restaurant and generate increase in foot traffic, that's a really good strat.
And that's because we understand direct marketing.
Yeah.
So that the actual first thing that you do on Facebook leads people in the house,
Yes.
which then brings them into the restaurant.
Excellent.
There's quite a few links to that strategy.
Yes.
Like hell it works.
Yes.
Yeah. So any restaurant owners out there? On the
Yeah.
email?
So what kind of restaurants do you work with?
Everything.
Everything.
Yeah, so we work with like the Fink Group that own Key and Benelong,
Okay.
the highest hatted restaurants in Australia, right down to little mom and dad cafes out in regional Victoria. Everything.
Have you ever worked with like a Michelin star type restaurant? Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, the rules that we work with for the Fink Group, I've worked with celebrity chefs you see on TV.
Wow.
We work with Pilu at Freshwater, we work with Cottage Point Inn, Catalina at Rose Bay. So they're up there, they're with all the starred restaurants.
What do they like to work with them? Some
Very professional.
Very professional.
Great, yeah, very.
You see them on TV, they're very like methodical in their approach. Are they like that in business as well?
They are. It's a business. Whereas, a lot of people that own the restaurant, it's a passion. So they do it because they absolutely love food. It's their art, and they want to demonstrate it and they want to share it. But they've got no business acumen. So it's one of those businesses, unfortunately, where people go out of business incredibly quickly because they don't understand the numbers and they don't understand marketing, and they also don't understand that it's their responsibility to generate diners, not just to make food.
Yeah.
And that's where we come in. So so when you work with the likes of those hatted restaurants, they understand the business side.
Yes.
Some of the restaurants we work with, the reason that they come to us is they're like, I've got 2 weeks left of money. What can you do to help me out? And it's like, right, well, we can get some things going, but you've got to change as a person. You've got to drop the ego about being a restaurateur. It's not MasterChef. This is hard grind.
Yes.
In
Yes.
MasterChef, I'm guessing they don't have to clean up the kitchen.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But in real life, you do.
And they don't have to take care of health and safety because the TV network have done all of that.
Yes.
They don't have to pay the rent.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
in fact, as much as MasterChef has been amazing and those kind of programs for lifting the interest in our industry, it's also been a nightmare because people come into it with stars in their eyes thinking they're going to be super famous and wealthy, and the truth is for most restaurant owners they're working 90 hours a week for minimum wage.
Yeah.
And that's the truth.
It's hard work.
It splits families up. We have suicides. It's all sorts of-
Wow. Wow.
Just recently, one of the top chefs in Australia committed suicide.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just incredibly hard work. It's incredibly stressful.
So that's where your psychotherapy and psychology skills now comes into play.
Well, we do a lot about changing their mindsets when they're working with us, and supporting them to really focus on the business side of things and make a lot more money so that they can actually take a breath, step back, bring other people in to work the business so that they actually get some of the rewards. It's one of those businesses where the rewards are really hard to get.
What's next then? Okay, that's my ongoing question here. It's interesting. I'm curious to hear your story coming from where you were to where you are now, and where do you want to
third person this week that's said that.
So that's your next vision.
I realised I can't do it on my own. It's taken me a long time to realise that the team is really important. Up till now, I've really battled away on my own because I only trust myself because everybody else has let me down before.
Yeah.
And now, in the last few years, I've got the right team
Yes, yeah.
around me, and I'm seeing that that's really important. So, whatever I do next, it's going to be about working with people that
Yes.
are smarter than me and that got more energy than me. So that together we can do something. This is long. These guys can hear this as well.
I hope so. I think they can hear it. We're pretty in the microphone well, so we hope so. Do you have any other questions?
I don't. I'm just really glad I finally get to meet you in person.
That's what it says. Like, your smile that you had, your evil smile that you had before, it wasn't that bad. I thought you were going to say something else.
No. I just.
Really something before that shit. I don't know what it was.
I saw you dancing naked in the
Yeah. I was hoping for something like that.
hard lights, mate. It's never happened.
I mean, though you're very, a unique prospector on my life because that was right at the beginning of my journey of my video marketing career, and yeah, that was ages ago for me. So, I only remember your name just because it was a good conversation. I loved the conversation. I liked talking to you. And,
Yeah, I do.
I remember exactly where I was. I was picking up my daughter in off of Apollo Street, and we just had this really great conversation. And you were really nice and supportive.
Did
And
Stacey put you in contact with it?
no, Beth Powell did. Another friend of mine put
Okay.
me in contact with Howard.
Yeah,
Oh, that's funny.
She's a KPI. You know Beth Powell, right? Yeah, yes.
Yeah, the thing that I see, like if somebody like you rings or somebody rings me and they want help, advice, support, it's my purpose in life. is to
That's
be
right.
service.
That's how I felt. You were very, very, we had a really good conversation. You gave me a lot of insight. You said the same thing, that they're time poor. They're not going to be able to learn video marketing. And you were very clear with that. And I made a decision based on our conversation not to target that industry. So it was... So he's a humble hero in my life.
Hey, who's in my book?
Is he in your book?
Who gave me the idea to write the book? It's right here. Gave me the idea to write the book. Writing this first bumps on seats. When I saw that, I'm like, I wouldn't mind writing one myself. So, when I broke the Guinness World Record, the first one, I was in contact with the Guinness World Record. So, humble heroes.
If you can just type in the chat room and let us know that all is good, I think everything's going to be okay.
Yeah, I think so.
I think everything's great. I feel like I'm loud, but just because I need to hear myself talk. But I'll just keep. Then you can't really hear me. Can you hear me when I'm talking like
I
this?
can hear you.
You can. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Howard. It was lovely chatting and hearing your story.
Thank you very much. Let's go to a song. We're back soon with our new guest.
Yes. Oh, cool. Yes, we've got. Well, just let's go to the break.
Let's go to the song and we'll
Yeah.
come back
Yeah.
and hear another interesting story. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, because of all this stuff, I didn't do my little prep before. His name's Mark, and we have Steve coming in. Yeah. I don't even know if this is working. I'm gonna close it.
Okay, cool.